What you actually give away when you scan that loyalty card. At the checkout, scanning a loyalty card feels trivial. A beep, a small discount, maybe a personalized offer next week. It feels like a fair trade. In reality, that scan triggers one of the most sophisticated data monetization pipelines in everyday life. This is not about paranoia. It is about understanding the transaction you are actually entering into. A loyalty card does not primarily exist to reward you. It exists to observe you. Every scan links your identity to a timestamp, a location, a basket of goods, and a price sensitivity signal. Over time, those signals accumulate into a behavioral model that is far more valuable than the discount you receive. What data is captured at the moment of the scan? The obvious data is transactional. What you bought, how much you paid, and when. Less obvious is the context. Which store, which terminal, whether you used cash or card, whether you responded to a promotion, whether you switched brands when prices changed. Across weeks and months, this reveals routines, shopping frequency, stockpiling behavior, household size, dietary preferences, alcohol consumption, health proxies, even stress patterns inferred from impulse buying or late-night visits. Retailers do not need to know your name to know who you are. Loyalty cards make that link explicit, from transactions to profiles. Individually, one shopping trip says little. In aggregate, patterns emerge. Data science thrives on repetition. Loyalty data is structured, high frequency, and tied to real purchasing behavior, which makes it unusually powerful. Supermarkets feed this data into forecasting, pricing, and supply chain systems. That is the internal story. The external story is more revealing. Your profile is not just used to predict what you might buy. It is used to decide what you should see. Offers become personalized. Prices can be tuned. Promotions are withheld from customers unlikely to defect. This is not hypothetical. Retailers openly report that loyalty program members are more likely to purchase when targeted. That influence is the monetizable asset. Retail media, that is when your data is sold without being sold. Modern loyalty schemes sit at the center of retail media networks. These networks allow brands to advertise directly to shoppers using first-party data rather than third-party cookies. What else can be inferred? From a legal standpoint, the data may never leave the retailer. From a practical standpoint, your behavior is being monetized as advertising inventory. Brands pay to reach health-conscious parents, price-sensitive pensioners, or high-margin impulse buyers. These segments are built from loyalty data. You never see the transaction, but it happens every time an advert is shown or an offer is triggered. Forecasts suggest retail media will overtake television advertising within a few years. That growth is fueled almost entirely by loyalty data. Loyalty data does not stay in the grocery aisle. When combined with other datasets, its reach expands. Payment method reveals financial stability. Brand switching reveals price elasticity. Repeated purchases reveal chronic conditions. Buying patterns before holidays reveal travel habits. None of this requires guessing. It requires correlation. As MIT CISR research emphasizes, data monetization is real only when value is realized. In retail media, value is realized every time advertising revenue flows or supplier fees increase or margins improve through behavioral targeting. Why the discount is misleading? The discount is immediate and visible. The data cost is delayed and invisible. A few euros or dollars saved today enable price discrimination tomorrow. Once a retailer knows which customers are least likely to leave, universal discounts disappear. Offers become conditional. Over time, loyal customers can pay more than disloyal ones. Loyalty becomes lock-in. Why consent is structurally weak? Participation in loyalty schemes is rising alongside cost of living pressure. This matters. When food prices rise, opting out becomes expensive. This is not free choice. It is economic coercion. Privacy notices do not correct this imbalance. They describe what happens after the fact, not the bargaining power at the point of consent. Why anonymization does not protect you? Retailers often argue that data is aggregated, but aggregation is a moving target. Segmentation works precisely because groups are narrow. The smaller the segment, the more valuable the targeting. Re-identification is often unnecessary. Influence does not require a name. This is what you really give away. When you scan a loyalty card, you give away a behavioral fingerprint, longitudinal visibility into your household, signals about vulnerability and habit, future pricing power, and the ability to be targeted differently from others. You give this away repeatedly, for years, in exchange for marginal savings. What you can do. You do not need to opt out of modern life, but you should treat loyalty schemes as data contracts, not gifts. Ask whether the discount is worth persistent surveillance. Consider using schemes selectively. Avoid linking loyalty cards across services. Be cautious with apps that extend tracking beyond the store. Most importantly, recognize that the real product is not groceries. It is prediction.